Alright, welcome back to First Impressions, the show where I play a game that I haven't played before and then see what kind of an impression it leaves on me, whether it be a good impression, bad impression. So this time I've been playing Mirror's Edge Catalyst. So Mirror's Edge Catalyst came out on the 7th of June 2016 and the 9th of June in Europe. It was released on PC, PS4 and the Xbox One, and it was, well, when they announced it first off, they said it was going to be a prelude to the first Mirror's Edge game on last gen and PC, but then they kind of just said, nah, it's going to be a reboot and just retconned the whole story of the first game, I guess. So the game is set in a futuristic city called Glass, where the businesses and conglomerates and that control everything. They control the media and the military and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of almost like a parody or a social commentary on society now, almost, in that, you know, businesses and corporations control everything and have everything, all your personal details and that, what with Facebook and all the shit. You play as a girl called Faith, who's a runner, which is a group of people who parkour around the city and that, and they'll deliver small messages or little deliveries of things to people around the city for money and that the people they're delivering it for don't want the big businesses to know about, so it's kind of under the radar. So obviously this is where the mechanics of you know, the famous parkour and everything come into play with the game. If you've played the first one, you'll be familiar with how the parkour works. It's essentially the same controls and it works in almost the exact same way. It's still really good, I have to say. For all the things that people have been shitting on it, the parkour and the actual main core mechanic of the game still works really well. And so there's still the mechanics to keep you going, keep your momentum up and keep running vaulting over obstacles, or when you are falling for a while you can roll over and stuff like that to keep yourself moving, keep yourself going. And they've added in this grappling hook on your hand or something where so you can swing across the city on hooks and shit like that, and security cameras and that are flying around like Spider-Man. So it's different to the first game in that this one's open world now, so you have to run obviously across the map like Assassin's Creed or whatever to go to mission starters, and then the mission starts. But yeah, the main thing of the game is open world. But I feel I have to say it doesn't feel as open world as, say, GTA or Saints Row or something like that feels, because at least with those games you can kind of explore around a lot more. Because you're confined to the rooftops and certain almost runs as such. It's it doesn't feel as open world or as free roaming as something like GTA would. I mean, I don't feel as though that's necessarily a bad thing, but you know, it's just something to, I think, pay attention to, in that it still doesn't feel absolutely free roaming, doesn't feel like that. It's almost as if it's almost completely unnecessary that it's free roaming, open world. It doesn't really make sense that it is. It's still good and it still works. It's not shite. It's not completely pointless, but it's still a bit yeah. I mean, personally for me, I like that it's free roaming. It's one of the only games where I've actually found myself not fast travelling to different points, because running around the city, parkouring to get to each mission start still feels really good. Reviewers seem to be shitting on the story, which I get. It's not the strongest story in a game by any amounts. I mean, I don't feel like that's too important for Mirror's Edge. I feel as though the gameplay is what you play Mirror's Edge for, especially the first one. I don't remember the first game's story being anything groundbreaking or anything like that, but you know, if you care about a good story in a game, this may not be the game for you, but you know, the gameplay is where it's at for Mirror's Edge, I feel, anyway, my opinion. Soundtrack's alright. It's not as good as the first games, the main theme of the first game, the OST, but you know, it's okay, it works. It's kind of just basic runnery, not even house music, it's just standard music. Well, it's what's playing now under the it's what's playing now. The music that's playing now will be what plays in the game when you're running. You don't really notice it, to be honest. It's just there. There's a fuckload of side missions. The main story keep you going. Obviously, I'm still playing the main story, but there's loads and loads of side missions in the game. So you'll always feel as though there's something to do. You're always going to run around the corner and there'll be somebody there who shouts at you and be like, hey, can you deliver this thing for me please? And you're like, fuck off, I can't be arsed. No, the side missions are pretty good. There's like time trials and stuff like that as well, and each side mission that you do, it like times it so that, and it stacks it against your friends' times. And when you're doing a time trial or a delivery or something like that, if your friend's already done it, you can like see their avatar, like their ghost, if you will, like when you're do racing games, and it shows your best time. It like shows your best time of that time trial to your friends if they're doing it, and they can compete against you, which is pretty cool. It's like got that level of not first multiplayer, like, you know, battling each other as you do normal, what you would think of with multiplayer like in a shooter, but there's still that element of like competitiveness to it, but it's localized to just your friends, which is nice. Reviewers have been knocking on the combat as well, and that I can understand. It's extremely basic, and it's a definite improvement from the first one. It's the combat in the first game was shite. I remember that, like you'd have to essentially just run away from every single fight because the combat in the game was so bad. In this one, in Catalyst, it's not that. It's like, it's okay, it's manageable, but like it's not shit. It's not completely fucking pointless. It works and it serves its purpose, but it's still really bad. But like you can, it's something you can get over. It's not something that completely ruins the game at all. So the combat, it's all right. It's bad. It is bad. I will admit it is bad. It's not that good at all. But I still feel like it does serve its purpose. It's there as a thing. It comes up occasionally in the game. You will actually have to fight people in the game, but not that much. So it's not that much of a problem at all, really. The graphics are pretty good. There are moments when it's not though. There are moments in the game when the graphics are shite. Like literally they are shit. Like there are some texture problems here and there. It's a bit blurry, or sometimes because of how the art style is, where everything's sterile, like you'll be able to run up things that are red and they're like proper blood, like really they put the saturation like way up to the top, so there are moments where you'll run through a corridor and it's just like all blue and you can barely see where you're going, or like all red or orange, so you can't really see where you're going. But those moments are far and few between, so it's not awful, but it's not something that's going to ruin the game, but it's still a problem, it's still a thing. I think that's due to them wanting to keep 60 FPS like constantly throughout the whole game, even on consoles, which is nice. So it's quite nice that 60 FPS games are 60 FPS. It's quite nice that 60 FPS games are becoming more of a staple now on consoles. But you know, the odd graphical hindrance here and there, I think makes up. That's okay. It's fine. Graphics aren't what matters. Well, they are a bit with Mirror's Edge because it's nice and the art style is important, but yeah, you know, the odd things. Meh. So all in all, based on the few hours that I've played, what do I think of it? What's my opinion? What's the first impression that I had from Mirror's Edge Catalyst? It's decent. It's alright. It's nothing special. It's, you know, it does what it says in the tin. It's a reboot of the first Mirror's Edge game, which was great. Do I think it's going to have the same impression, you know, leave the same kind of mark that the first Mirror's Edge game left? Nah. Do I like it? Yeah. Simple as that. If you liked the first Mirror's Edge game, then you will like this game. The parkour's really good, the graphics are decent, you know, the music's okay. It's there, all the gameplay's there, it's all there and good and it works. It's nothing amazing. It's not going to be Game of the Year, but you know, it's there. It's alright. Now, if you're able to overlook the holes that it does admittedly have, which is the kind of like the same holes that the first game had as well, then you'll be able to enjoy it. It's okay. So yeah, that's my first impressions of Mirror's Edge Catalyst. It's alright. It's nothing special, but there you go. Thanks for tuning in. Suck my cunt, lick my clit. Oh, fuck yeah.